Hello Cancer, Cancer Rising, and Cancer Moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for December 2017. Just a quick reminder for all of you Cancerians out there, remember that these horoscopes talk about the big sweeping angles and long-term energies going on in the background of an entire month, or the vast majority of it. And I will never put anything in here that is here today, gone tomorrow. If you are looking for more short-term aspects and angles, please check out your weekly horoscopes. The first half is always exclusively astrology, so there is something in it for everybody. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always just follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with the astrology this month? Well, from the 1st through the 25th, we've got Venus, planet of love, harmony, and attraction, in your 6th house of work, reputation, and physical health, Sagittarius. And with Venus in your 6th house, we tend to attract a lot of attention, more attention than we are normally used to at the office or even on our job hunt. We are more in demand when Venus is in the 6th house, because remember, it's boosting our reputation, it's allowing us to be seen, it's allowing us to be heard, and our message is reaching farther and wider. This is also a wonderful aspect because it does indicate people are going to be maybe actually paying you more. You know, maybe if you run your own business or you get paid on, a certain basis for certain services, more higher ticket items are going to be in demand. More higher ticket items and services that you provide are actually going to be considerably the mainstay for the vast majority of December. Venus in the 6th house can also talk about us winning all kinds of popularity contests with minimal effort when it comes to the workplace. If you're trying to maybe compete for somebody's attention, you're trying to get the attention of a hiring manager or a boss that could sway things in your favor, special requests are always honored during Venus in our 6th. We also have, from the 3rd to the 22nd, Mercury retrograde in this area of your astrology chart, and let me tell you that it can be a very good thing. Usually with Mercury retrograde, people freak out. Well, you don't need to. Mercury retrograde in the 6th is one of the areas where we tend to have Mercury retrograde working more for us than in its usual neutral way. When we have Mercury retrograde in the 6th, we tend to see opportunities for quick improvements by revising a health plan. It talks a lot more about our physical health. We may find that there is a better way when it comes to a certain treatment, exercise, or diet regimen that we've been working on. In fact, a lot of people, and I notice this myself whenever I have a Mercury retrograde in the 6th house, tend to, if you're trying to, lose weight a lot quicker than they normally would. I always find that I usually do drop a good 8 to 9 pounds in the month of a Mercury retrograde in my 6th. It just happens always. So, that can always be a really nice, vote of encouragement for people who are trying to maybe shed a few vanity pounds. This is also a time where you may actually be able to do, uncover some kind of correction that needs to be, corrected when it comes against something going on with your health. I would definitely check with my GP, my physician, to be sure. Of course, always go with your health authority. But at the same time, I've had situations where it's, say, I got my new glasses during a Mercury retrograde, and we were able to correct something that had gone unnoticed, or we discovered something that had gone unnoticed, so to speak, for about 2 years with my vision, and that has made it better considerably. You may be finding that with this Mercury retrograde as well, old contacts on the business sense are going to be coming back and looking for your attention, possibly to renew or review ways that they can still be, again, good paying customers. On the 3rd of the month, we've got a full moon in Gemini in your 12th house of your past, your privacy, and your hidden zone. And with a full moon in the 12th house, it's not an easy place to have a full moon. And between the 3rd and the 14th, it's a 2-week lunation influence. And, I always call this the yearly breakdown, breakthrough full moon. We usually find that outstanding issues that maybe we're not over, things that we're not done with, things that we haven't processed, are kind of taken away from us. And sometimes it's because we spend too much time thinking about it. We spend too much time being there. whether it's not getting, maybe we're not over something from childhood, we're not over something from adolescence or formative years, we're not over an old opportunity, we're not over an old relationship. This full moon can actually is working to try and kind of bring your energy back to the present. It's trying to clear this to get this monkey off your back. But again, it can be a tough full moon to deal with because, as flawed human beings, sometimes we have a tendency to get stuck on things as well and paralyze. On the good, a full moon in the 12th can actually talk about, though, releasing you from something long-standing that you've been trying to get rid of, but for the life of you, you have not. Whether this is, again, something hanging over your head, possibly in a credit report, possibly something that, even goes back again to younger days, whether it's people, whether it's a reputation, whether it's something you don't want to be known for anymore. It's a good way to clear your space and clear your name, and it doesn't even have to be anything scandalous. Sometimes there are good things we just don't want to be known for anymore. And this is the kind of moon for you if that's what you're trying to get a fresh start with. On the 9th, we've got Mars, planet of action, energy, passion, and conviction, moving into your 5th house of love and romance, where he will be up to the end of January. And wherever Mars goes, there's an emphasis on bonding and simplifying things that have gotten overcomplicated. This could be wonderful for those of you looking for new love, as Mars tends to always bring a brilliant helper or a third-party person to assist us. This could be a wingman or a wingwoman that actually may help us find new love and new romance if that's what we're looking for. This can also indicate somebody coming into your life to kind of break down a barrier between you and a child so you can understand each other better. Mars can also show up to bring more of an opportunity to bond and add an extra dimension to a romantic relationship or a parent-child relationship that has perhaps become a bit too formal in the way it is conducted. Mars is not a formal planet. Mars is definitely meant to, it wants something simple and it wants something strong. And with Mars there, there could be some fights, there could be some arguments that come up, because passion can go in a lot of directions, right? But with Mars in the 5th house, if perhaps maybe our relationship with our partners become too formal. I'm the this and you're the that and we're of a certain age, therefore procedure says. Well, what about the organic friendship and the trust and the love and the companionship? Mars is going to be bringing in a bit of that. So if you've noticed a partner or somebody you're dating behaving in such a way, Mars is going to come in to kind of correct that. And the same way when it comes to handling our relationships with our kids. All in all, making us all a heck of a lot closer, and a lot of pretense go out the window. On the 18th, we've got a new moon in Sagittarius in that 6th house of work, reputation, and physical health. And this could indicate a new job, a new job designation, a new department that you work for, new duties, new assignments, but also at the same time an improvement in this area as well. Now Mercury is retrograde from the 18th to the 22nd, of course, well, it's from the 3rd to the 22nd, but for this portion of the lunation, Mercury will be retrograde the first few days. So anything new on the table will ultimately go through a quick revision before we get the real deal. But between the 18th and the end of the month, we do actually have, a new offer or new opportunity put on the table for you that you may want to actually give some serious consideration, whether you're looking for it or not. On the 19th, we've got Saturn, planet of discipline, obstacles, and conviction itself. It's also a conviction-oriented planet. To a certain degree, boundaries and restrictions, moving into your 7th house of partnerships, your closest one-on-one relationships. It's your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, all of those folks, okay? Your roommate, all of it. And he's going to be there for the next 2.5 years. Saturn in Capricorn is an easier energy than what people make Saturn out to be usually. Saturn's at home in Capricorn, he rules Capricorn, his energy flows and emanates out much more smoothly and digestibly. However, with Saturn, I don't think Saturn should be a scapegoat for anyone anyway, but Saturn will obviously, bring up some challenges for us to face in order to evolve whatever house it's in. Now, this could have to do with a partnership. Whether it's romantic, business, or platonic, or just a friendship. This could be, over the next 2 years, you may be noticing your closest one-on-one relationships being heavily challenged, but not challenged just for the sake of challenge being there. Saturn only creates challenges out of the back burner. I always tell people if there's a Saturn-oriented issue, it's because Saturn has set something on the back burner on fire because it was left there for too long. And in this case, it could relate to your romantic partnerships. It could indicate an issue we've not tackled. It could be bringing up elephant in the room. It could be talking about some unsettled business or unsettled contention between you and a best friend. It could be bringing up some issues that need to be recalculated and recalibrated in a business partnership. And the important thing to understand is that Saturn is trying to make this the perfect partnership it can be. And all members need to be willing to work on being mature, perfect partners for the perfect relationship that it's supposed to be. One of the things I will say that is always a good when Saturn's in the partnership zone, it's one of the areas where people, relationships start to mature towards that committed marriage type of relationship if that is what you're looking for. But Saturn will force everyone to be ready mentally, emotionally, and psychologically to do their part for it. We also have the Sun moving into this area on the 19th, where he will be up until the third week of January. And with the Sun, we tend to see more of a focus on bringing some levity, some lightness to your partnerships, trying to bring more fun, trying to rebond everybody, trying to bring some healing in, and trying to get more out of the time that we share. How do we make this partnership more productive? How do we make this something where we are not only better bonded, such as that Mars energy in Scorpio, but also how are we making this partnership kind of create more than just a partnership? What does this partnership resonate or maybe radiate out to the rest of the world, believe it or not? It's like with our relationship or with our marriage, it radiates out to our neighbors, our family, our children, all of that. The quality is, it's contributing energy to the environment like a mini planet. And the Sun is working on refining and healing and purifying and cleansing this energy so it can actually be something, quite radiant, quite loving, and very, very prolific. A lot of you will be attracting a lot of new partners and possibly even new partnerships, new best friends, and even maybe, new lovers that are meant to fill that role, that would actually fill that role well and the right way. Especially, again, between the 19th and the third week of January, but it's kind of a mainstay since Saturn's going to be here for a bit. Finally, on the 25th, we do have Venus moving into this area, Capricorn, where she will be up until the end of January. And Venus is bringing more love, affection, and, it's almost like a test. With Venus, Saturn, and the Sun here, especially, again, the end of this month and going through January, we're kind of seeing how good it could be. We're kind of seeing how good it really could be with a particular, best friend or business partner or whatever. And Venus is bringing in that love, that generosity, that affection, that loyalty, and we are having the opportunity to see just exactly what perfect looks like. Eventually, Venus and the Sun will leave this area, and Saturn will be like, okay, now how are you going to hold on to it? How are you going to make it happen? How are you going to keep that going, even when you don't have planets to lean on? It's a very interesting test, but you know what? It's a good way to start off a new Saturn lesson, as we all will be going through our own respective Saturn lessons. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.